Yeah, how about for bad? That is pretty much done. There's the agenda.
I don't remember, I don't think you guys did your budget last meeting.
Yeah, 7,000, 500,
I'll double check.
500 for marketing, that's 1,000.
Okay, you guys are live.
Do we still call it to order? even though we're
Yeah,
not-
yeah.
Still call it to order, meeting 5:54. Do the roll call, so Andrea is not here, Carlos here, Daniel here, Jessica.
Here.
Hector's not here, George not here, Jose not here, Magali not here, Randy no, me here. Rudy.
Here.
Romy, maybe, Raphael.
Yes.
Okay. So orders of business, does anyone have anything new to add, other than the budget, talk about today? All right,
For the business budget.
so we want the public comments, I see we have two guests.
Yes, you have us. Susana Alonso and Justin, we're the planning and transportation department.
Hey.
And we, thank you for your attention, because, we have, something that we can't wait to tell you until your next meeting, so, this is it today, so we're kind of like hijacking your situation today. Just, we want to introduce first the project that we're starting this year, which is the Vision Zero for Miami Lakes. We're starting to study all of our transportation infrastructure from the point of view of safety. And that's going on this year already. We already got funding for it. We have a consultant in place. We're starting to look at every angle, and we're here to recruit you all to, from your point of view as business owners and as a business and economic development, to help us highlight the areas that need to be studied more. We're gonna be doing walking audits. We're gonna be doing bicycle audits. We're gonna be doing a lot of those, but I wanna make sure that we hit the right areas, and you all know your neighborhoods better. You all know your areas of wherever your commerce is, so that if you help us get those areas on our maps to make sure we hit them when we do our audits, that would be very helpful. So he's gonna give you some business cards. They have a little QR code that take you to a map where you can drop pins in different areas where you can put a little comment, like, and it can be something like the sidewalk is not wide enough here, or maybe the intersection, you don't cross fast enough cross. I know 67th Avenue is sorely missing a lot of crossing area. So these are the things that we're about to address, put it on a big report. It's a matter of changing how we discuss these things with the county, with FDOT, with all this alphabet soup of agencies that we have to deal with for funding and for projects, so that we can do safety first and not so much maybe circulation first. Sir.
Freebies gonna keep on, or is it gonna be extended, I heard it might be extending.
100%, yeah.
Add more freebie cars.
Well, that's a funding issue, and we are, right now, we're like on the money, what is our yearly expense on freebie right now, 400 and what? $450,000 a year, and it's paid through PTP funds and through a grant that we get from FDOT. We're requesting the grant again for next year, so we're preparing that grant separately, but that is not part of the grant that we're discussing today. But yes, freebie will certainly continue, and if freebie is not, we will continue to have a similar service in. Yes.
Have you been working with the county's transportation people, and so forth? Alice Bravo, all those people, because I know they have tremendous projects in mind, and everything else, and
That's.
because I'm with the chamber, that's why, with the Greater Miami Chamber, so I know that
Yes,
you have a
and
huge
it's
transportation
It's
committee.
gonna be also the chamber, because I also need
Yes,
you
me know.
guys
Let me know.
support on the same exact thing. So one thing that I do need your support in.
Miami Lakes Chamber or the Greater Miami?
No, Greater
The
Miami,
Miami
Greater
Lakes.
Miami.
Well,
No,
Miami
And
Lakes,
Miami
yeah.
too.
One of the reasons, because that's the Vision Zero, and I need y'all like to help me out with a little map, but that's already ongoing. That project is already ongoing. We're also requesting funding to extend that project and to pinpoint, to have an additional study that pinpoints only commercial vehicles and commercial routes. So freight and again, your delivery trucks, your industrial areas. So that's the next piece of funding that we're looking for. And for that, I do need a recommendation letter from y'all and from, as a committee, And obviously you have to vote on it, so I'm very happy you have quorum. And then as individual businesses, if you'd like to also submit a letter of recommendation for that funding, I would really appreciate it. So that's what I'm also here to do. That can't wait for the next meeting because that's a little more urgent because my deadline is approaching rapidly.
Come to meet with the Miami Lakes Chamber,
Yes,
contact Ray Palacios.
yes,
You,
yes.
you have his contact information?
And Mr. Sembra, yes, I've already sort of elbowed my way into that conversation
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be preparing a little letter for them
Okay,
to send as well.
And if you need the county's, information and the Greater Miami Chambers, it's, Alice Bravo.
Okay, I actually have, I'm getting like the TPO, we presented in the freight transportation advisory committee last week. FTAC, they love the alphabet soup in the, I swear. So we presented to them last week, they unanimously voted in favor of the recommendation, so they were very excited to help.
So what do you need this recommendation letter to say?
Oh, I got you, don't worry about that.
so we just need to sign it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Good job for vote and signing, you can all read it. It's not necessarily. We even invented a little logo for you all, because I didn't see a logo, so we made one for you,
This is,
not your logo.
yeah, no, I haven't.
No, we made that.
Well, we do
We do have a
We do
logo.
have logos
Yeah.
and everything.
Find that, so that's why I was like,
Yeah, we have-
there, yeah. And I have a sample letter written for like individual businesses, obviously, if you all want to have that, you give me a swipe and I'll send that text to you, so you can like amend it to your, I don't want you to write from scratch, that's just not fun.
And I get your name again?
Yes, Susana Alonso,
Rana Alonso.
yes.
Good question. Does these also include, let's say, public transportation in the whole Florida is very not good, right? Compared to other big states. Does these also takes in consideration public transportation through inside the city?
So right now, we're also doing the transportation master plan. We're doing a lot of stuff at the same time. They sound the same, but they're all very different. Another thing that we're working on is the transportation master plan, which we're, and it's all happening at the same time. That would be more addressed. Yeah,
Oh, with Miami.
correct,
Sounds
yes.
different than what you want.
I'm,
No, yeah.
Justin and I are blessed to have to go to every meeting the county has whenever they're discussing either public transportation, any project that they're doing, anything that has to do with anything, even remotely within the town, adjacent areas, 186, anything that has to, we get to go to all of those parties and like participate, give our opinion. Sometimes they care what we think, sometimes they don't. But it's what we do all day, right? So yes, public transportation is a big priority for both of us because we are very much like ignored by the county. We're kind of like the bold spot
Yeah.
where they did this transportation smart plan
That's it.
and they put the legend on
No
top
smart
of
plan.
Miami Lakes because there was nothing here. They put everything elsewhere. And then they put the legend of the map, the Miami Lakes, because it's like we're the blank spot. It is what it is. I mean, it's one of those things, one of the things that we're trying to do as a department and as a town is to change the conversation. First of all, we go to every party because we're gonna be like, you're gonna ignore us, but you're gonna hear us. And that's one of the reasons that we show up to everything, even if it's not even our business sometimes, but we're there. But also the way that you start.
They can.
100%. And another thing is about changing the way we talk about ourselves, because we keep talking about ourselves like we're a sleepy residential community, which is how we end up getting ignored. The way that we're changing the way we're talking, especially with the freight request, is we're more talking about this is definitely an industrial area. I can tell you that we have 700 acres of industrial land that is 100% industrial. We have more than 1,600 businesses that are industrial based. It's a lot. So yes, you can see the cows, you can see the pretty houses, you can see all these things, but at the end of the day, we are a very serious industrial community as well.
That they need a lot of public transportation.
and not just public transportation, we need understanding of our transportation system so that we make sure that we are routing trucks correctly, that we're not routing trucks through residential areas, that the things are happening.
What happens is that everything from the ports has to go through Miami Lakes.
A
To
hundred
get to the
percent.
rest of the United States.
And not
And
only-
we're in the middle of this and
And
not
not only
getting,
that,
not getting favored. We don't have the right traffic. They use our roads, they
Yes.
use everything else.
you got it. But
They
on top
damage
of
our
everything-
roads
on
and
top of
everything
everything,
else.
We are surrounded by other industrial areas that do not have access to the interstate system unless they come to Miami Lakes. So we're sort of like a weird airport. People come here to get siphoned into the interstate system, but they need to come here first. Which
They gotta
means
pass
that,
to us.
exactly.
Actually,
So
drives
we're
me-
sort of like a giant funnel of activity, attracting all these
Yeah.
activity from around us that is not contributing to our tax base, is contributing to somebody else's tax base, right? And we're the ones that are paying the price in.
Lack of infrastructure
Everything.
and this letter is for business owners.
For individual
to sign.
business owners,
And then-
obviously it has to be like, see that it's kind of generic right now, so it's like have room for you to say what, so I can send you the text so you can put it on your own.
Right, and then that one is the one
For
the
your
committee,
For
the
the
committee
committee.
signed.
Because obviously this committee is very important for this particular, we're already getting, and we're getting a TPO, we're getting a letter from Miami-Dade County, we're getting, but I'm very interested in getting local support of our businesses for our initiatives, because obviously this is who we do this for, right? And we need to tell the grantors that are giving us the funds to do these things, that this matters to the community, that matters to you guys.
Done with just.
Thank you, sir. Yes, you email me, I'll send you the text of the letter. Yes. And this one's the one that I hope that you all sign today. I'm gonna leave it with Isle and obviously you'll vote and with your budget, because I know you have a lot of very important things to discuss. But this one's money for free is what I say,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you.
And yes, freebie will definitely continue because it's one of our initiatives and we're happy we're providing
And we were the first city to do that.
about
We were the
eight,
first one.
we were getting numbers today, we're providing about 800 rides to Palmetto. Which we're working from, we started with 13 rides quarterly and now we're working on 800 every 3 months, so that's cars off the road. So, yeah, they're starting to walk into the meeting, yeah. So I'm gonna leave this with Al, she has the information, again, this, I'm happy to email it so you can use the text and like make it your own, this is just for reference.
Do you have a digital to give it to her so she can forward?
Like share with us, yeah.
Share
Thank
with
you.
us.
Yes. I'll send it.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Malik. Alright, we want the new business, talking about the budget. So. Where were we?
Shall we sign this?
Yeah, we need to
Both,
make a
right?
decision on this, no?
Okay.
Because she's
Yeah, so that way we
requiring.
just.
Yeah, just get that.
Yeah,
I agree.
yes.
So we,
Ah,
Who proposed the vote?
Did everybody have a chance to read it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's great. I motion
Yeah.
that we approve it as a committee.
I second.
Aye.
How does this go again?
Right, there's a motion in the floor,
Yeah.
one second.
We have a second.
Rudy made the motion.
Yeah.
what do you
Okay,
think?
cool. So a motion on the floor, so second from Rudy, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, cool, passes. So what, we sign this?
You sign it on.
You sign it.
You sign it.
We
You sign it.
we have the chairman of the EDC.
What was the header of the letter? The one that Matthew just signed? Miami Lakes Comprehensive Freight Safety Action Plan.
Alright, cool. So now we can move on to the new business. So the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. So that's what we're here for. We're here to vote on the budget for next year and we're gonna submit.
So there's no amount
Yeah.
for this year's budget, so we have to come up with the amounts, correct?
Yeah, this is your opportunity to request what you want council to give you next fiscal year. I'll take this moment as a reminder, if there's any new activities you foresee adding to your committee or any new expenses that you guys may have not had in the past, this is the opportunity to add it on there and make that request.
My only question is what's finally happening with local intel? Cause I know we got stuck with it for this year, but for next year, are we off the hook?
Really quickly, so local intel has always been $10,000. The way the contract ends, it kind of ends in the middle of our fiscal year, which is why right now it hasn't been fully charged. If you look at the latest budget I gave you guys maybe at your last agenda. But the point is that by the end of our fiscal year, the total 10,000 gets removed. Because now we start a new contract, but this is kind of where we went back and forth. So I was explaining to Matthew that there's an opportunity tomorrow during council meeting. We spoke to staff. Cause I know you guys felt that it was unfair to continue the contract since you guys are asking for it to be, canceled now. That's it, that we have the opportunity. And then where we were kind of disagreeing is that, well, the direction, given from the committee when before the fiscal year started was you guys were essentially gonna use those $10,000 for local intel. So there's that disconnect. So EDC has the opportunity to go in front of council tomorrow to make that formal request from council, asking them to terminate that contract so that hopefully they say, yes, you can go ahead and terminate it. And that $2,500 that you would come out of the current fiscal year, you guys would maybe have those funds to use for something else.
I'm sorry, but that would be this fiscal year?
That
or
would be this
September?
fiscal year. That is separate from this.
Okay, but that's my question. My question is next year is local, cause my understanding was we voted to cancel local intel, but then because of a combination of getting stuck in the middle of the term and also I think someone else in town
Staff,
wanted to keep,
yeah.
right, staff wanted to keep local intel, so we got stuck with it in our budget. So my question is, are we still stuck with it in our budget for next year because staff wants it?
Well, this is where that request for next fiscal year comes in.
Got it, okay.
This is where you would say 0 to that marketing. The explanation is we no longer want local intel and we want the 10,000 to go instead to whatever other line
Got it,
item.
okay.
And again, if council says tomorrow, that's fine, go ahead and terminate. As of right now, there's no reason why those $10,000, even if they continue at that point, would even come from EDC anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna come from the town's budget regardless, so.
I was gonna say, right, it might just, well, the town wants to pay for it.
Right.
From their staff. Let them do it. That's up to them.
Yeah,
Not
or
from our budget.
if they assign it to
What I'm
our budget.
confused on this, so we can tell them to cancel it now and then we keep that 2,500 is what you're saying?
Well, that's what we're trying to get direction from.
But I thought we couldn't just cancel it in the middle of it, of the end
Because
of it
their
anyway.
contract actually ends sometime around. Contract actually
Right.
does end right
Okay.
around
So
now.
there's a payment due that
That
town
will
has to.
soon hit, and that's what we're
To
trying to figure out.
activate the new contract.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
But if we voted for us to no longer take over it starting the next fiscal year,
Isn't that good enough?
yeah, that's what I don't
But
understand.
that's next fiscal year. This.
Yeah, but this would be the contract for the next year,
But it
right?
starts in this fiscal year.
It's just because of timing, that's
That's
why
the
we're
way that
having
it
it.
starts. So the
That's because-
2,500 that at least it starts from this fiscal year would definitely have to
Oh,
come out of.
okay.
the-
We can use the 2,500.
So the contract, my understanding is, the contract starts July first.
Let's say, yeah.
Right.
Right,
Right
July
now.
Which
first.
I think is.
So the first 2,500, July first to
To September.
August or August 31st or whatever it is in this fiscal year.
Correct.
The next payment, the second payment falls in the next fiscal year.
Yes.
So what we want, or what we have discussed before, my understanding is, we don't want that 2,500 charged to our budget. And we wanna use that 2,500
For,
towards.
No,
I understand.
No, no.
I'm saying if that's not want to keep it, can't they just move that 2,500 to a line item on?
they should,
They-
for their,
want it
for their,
now.
But that's what we're
I
trying
just see it like a
trying
plan
to
B
do.
to the town is what I'm saying. Like if they don't, if we don't wanna cancel it, they don't wanna keep it.
That's
Yeah, but
what
the
was.
2,500
Can we make it
comes-
so we don't pay that 2,500 even if they wanna keep it, the
But
town?
that's exactly why you guys are going to council tomorrow, because
Right.
right now, there is no other place to get that money from, so it does come from your line. item. So if we cancel, if council's cool with you guys canceling tomorrow, that's it, then no
No,
longer.
what I'm
comes
saying is
another line
that,
item.
so let's say we do vote to cancel, it, right? And then
Wait,
whatever
you
we
can
do,
time-
pay.
no,
we have-
cancel it.
No, we already voted.
So it is
We
vote
have-
to cancel, and then let's say we, whatever, we don't do anything tomorrow, and then we do pay for it. Then what happens? You guys already have a line item set up for it?
Next, well, here's the thing, come next fiscal year, we still have to go off of
No,
whatever.
I'm
council
wondering
gives
if we'd be
approved.
screwed out of that 10,000 if we don't get that 2,500
Cancel
Hey,
tomorrow.
cancel tomorrow? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, not.
Because then it's like, oh, since it's not canceled then, and we're keeping it for the town, now EDC's gotta pay for it all. That's what I'm wondering.
Because this is, even if we were to continue it as staff, however that money gets moved around is a different story, right? Wherever they allocate it. But the point is that if council tomorrow turns around, whenever they decide the new budget for the new fiscal year, if they decide to keep it as is, we don't have any direction from canceling, then it will continue to come.
Okay, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's why I wouldn't,
But this
it
is.
doesn't make sense entirely, is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
I have one point of clarification, because I think we voted to cancel this, I wanna say in February
Yes.
of this year,
Yes.
was
Yes.
I
right?
just needed to fix
So-
it now, because it was in the contract.
Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so the reason why we're waiting till now is because of the contract, so that's it. Okay, so I mean, that makes sense. So if we're waiting now because it's the official end of contract,
Yeah,
so now we're trying to cut it as soon as possible, we would get $2,500 back for this fiscal year. And then, we would eliminate, get back in our budget 10,000 for next fiscal year.
yeah.
So, okay.
For something else.
For something else, right, that's the other.
And that's
thing.
what we're
We-
here to decide today.
Right, we
What
can't
that's something else that.
The budget, por si acaso, we have to.
Right.
allocate.
No, and that's what we're here
Yeah.
today for.
Right, yeah.
is to figure out what that 10,000 is for.
Yeah, so I don't think there's a concern that we're have to eat $10,000, if we're telling council that the entire committee has unanimously voted to cancel the subscription.
But, right, but.
Yeah, but
what
we're
we
already
need to do-
about to pay for it.
What we need to do.
That's why I'm like, it
is
doesn't make sense.
Get the first, see, the next contract starts now, right? And 2,500 needs to be paid, and that was in our budget for the current fiscal year.
I get it's the
No,
one.
no, but that's where we have to say,
But like-
because if not, they put that 2,500, if we don't say anything, they put that 2,500 in our,
Yeah.
on us.
Right.
Because it's in our budget, so what we wanna do is say, hey, since we don't have the new contract. That 2,500 should not come out of our accounts,
And on our. new
and then
budget,
we have the
this,
2,500 to use in other activities.
Yeah.
Unless we have nothing else to spend the budget, and then we'll tell them, okay,
Here.
yeah, okay, leave it there because we don't care.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, that makes sense.
Is that clear?
Alright, so then all we gotta decide now is what we wanna do with that $10,000 moving forward without local intel so we can keep it,
Yeah,
okay?
What we
So-
had discussed last time, it was to do the marketing things to attract people to Miami Lakes.
Yeah.
Right, like through events, through marketing, through paid campaigns, through advertise Miami Lakes as a place to be. Which is
I mean-
still in the same line, which is marketing.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in the absolute worst case,
Yes.
although the good portion of that amount could be allocated to, the other lines such as the networking, social and trade show conventions, but I do believe, a sizable amount, worst case, could always be allocated towards like what you just mentioned, which is like advertising,
Yeah.
just for the town, really.
Yeah.
Didn't
Our
we?
solution too is Main Street Live.
Yeah.
We wanted to do that. That's like that
Main Street
easy.
Light ad nauseum. I think we should, I mean, I don't know if we want to, but I think the business boot camp is becoming quite kind of our annual event. I don't know if you wanna line itemize that, because right
It
now.
is,
we
I
did-
think.
Alright, it is, it's there.
I mean,
You have 2,000.
at the end.
Your budget's 2K.
With the
If you
seminar.
wanna increase your budget or
Yeah.
the budget, not your,
I think-
but the
yeah.
budget.
I think
How
we
much
should-
money do you need?
I think we should definitely increase it.
How much?
especially,
Yeah, what do you think?
I think.
You're the
we
one
could-
who's been.
I think so that we can have a really good marketing campaign. You know better than I would, Matt, how much ads, paid ads, and for like 2 months of like good paid ads, like what we would need to allocate to that.
I would say probably maybe like $500, $750, like so you can do like 250. I would
Okay.
say maybe a little
Yeah.
bit more.
1,000, so.
Right.
So we need
You
to
think?
increase it
Even
to
more?
I would say a bit more, at least 1,000.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
At least. a-
I would do 3, that doesn't
Alright.
include, I mean, if we have more to play with, I'll take another grand, I'll take 4, so that we can, not have to be dependent on restaurants
So-
donating food and things like that.
Listen, we need to ask,
No,
because when they allocate, they say, well, we cannot give you 4, we'll give you 3.
We agree with
But
that.
if we ask for 5, they can
Right.
give us 4.
right,
Reference to the Miami Lakes Life, right?
Main Street.
Main Street Life, my understanding it was that it was 2,500 per event, correct?
yeah.
Around that to 3,000 is what she told me. Depends on the band.
She was,
Okay.
she was right.
So because then we'll have, let's call it 10,000 that we'll have to do that, but that is only give us 4, so we'll do one
Yeah, we do
quarterly.
one every quarter.
Yeah,
You know,
Or-
the thing is that what they wanted to do is during the time that it doesn't rain and the weather is cool.
True.
You know, they don't wanna do it in June or July or August or September because it's when hurricanes and rains and then it's
So
too
we
hot.
do the start of the year to at the end of the year.
Right.
And if
Kind of we
Like
do.
semi-annual.
quarterly, we don't have enough money.
That's what I was gonna,
If we're also gonna take some for this line item, there's still,
and that's what I was gonna say, because
Semi-annually then.
then we only have money on this marketing line only for those events, but not actually doing advertising for the town. Like
Mhm.
attracting people to it, billboard, or I don't know, like pay ads saying why come to Miami Lakes.
so like, for example, he says that it's between 2,500 and 3,000. We can say, okay, we're gonna allocate 6,000 from that to say where two of them are gonna be on us. Let's say, like, this is just, and then we have 4,000 left. We're gonna put 1,000 in this one more, that then we have 3,000 left. And then the other 3,000 we can do towards the marketing and the
Yeah.
other things that, you know, in thoughts of how we can allocate it to kind of put a little bit in every bucket and do more in all of these categories.
The only thing, and it's what we haven't really been able to do it, and I know that it not depends only on us, is that at the end, we're only doing a little bit here, a little bit there, and
We
not.
wanna take full ownership of something.
No, I wish, but I didn't have enough money to do that. It's because it's different things, right? But Miami Lakes needs advertising, like
No,
for real, of all the things. Like, we already did a video, we can kind of play that out. But if we do a little here, a little there, then
Not gonna move the.
the Graham do a little bit
Not
there,
gonna move the
a little
needle.
anyway. And it all have a different
No, I get it.
strategy. So,
I don't mean to interrupt you guys, it's just, I really have to get to that meeting in 10 minutes. But really quickly, I will add, if it helps your decision making, for Main Street Live, I met with Cultural Affairs last week. They do plan on using funding to put on the concerts next year. So, cause
But
I hear
What
you
they
guys.
wanted us, it was to promote it and be, you know, like an additional budget.
So it wouldn't rely solely on us, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
they're taking ownership of like putting it on, like the $2,500, $3,000 that they would need to put on the event. So anything that comes out of you guys is really just
Extra.
extra for like marketing.
Okay,
So if that helps.
So
your
then we don't
decision.
need that much.
so I have.
That
a
makes the
question.
line item simpler.
If,
Right.
but I'm gonna throw something there and see if it sticks. Let's say Economic Development Committee wants to take over the advertising of the whole town. Meaning, say, okay, we want to be advertised Miami Lakes as a place, GI of as a town and all of those things. And we're going to need, I don't know, just say $25,000 for it. And we do that one.
I mean, you guys can make the request. I'm not gonna tell you yes, because I think that kind of goes into territory of what does the communications team
What do they
does,
do?
but I think you guys can work closely as to which I know is the initial thought process that Matthew had, that you were gonna meet up with the team to see what it is that they can or can't do and how we can use that funding.
But that was, again, I don't know much about it, but local intel was supposed to be that thing when they wanted to find about Miami Lakes.
They
Oh,
go
that
in.
was they go into local intel and boom, that was
Right,
the
right,
advertising.
yeah.
So if we don't wanna do local intel because it didn't, from our point of view, it didn't work out the way it was designed. And, advertising Miami Lakes, well, we'll say, hey, we'll take that $12,000 to advertise Miami Lakes businesses.
No,
And
understand,
to promote Miami Lakes. Just switch one for the other.
that's the easiest way to do it, right? And
Oh, we
I
gotta
think
start
that's what we're going to do for sure, because I think we all agreed it last time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying is.
you wanna request more.
Exactly.
I know,
If we can request more to be able to do more, I don't know if it is gonna get
The
approved,
worst
no, I don't know, you guys know more than
No.
that.
no, right, so if, we-
Committee docs.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, okay, let's
Sky's the
give
limit.
us more thing to be able to do it. What we wanted to do is really advertise Miami Lakes. The Chamber of Commerce in Miami Lakes is doing a great job. He's attracting a lot of different cities.
Mhm.
The events that they're doing, the drifting, the exercises, that now that we have live thing here, many other new restaurants that they have coming up, all the industrial thing, the transportation thing, there's a lot to advertise, free parking, a lot of things to advertise. And nobody wants to really own it.
Yeah,
If we can own it, which because that will actually benefit all the businesses and everything. Let's just ask for it and see if they wanted to actually do.
So what do you propose to us?
Well, for a
How much-
really
or
good
how
marketing
much-
campaign.
How much
much?
better,
Yes,
better, that's a better
exactly.
word.
Say, let's do the first easiest thing, which is let's relocate. Let's
Yeah.
make sure that this Intel, whatever funds is gonna go towards exactly what we need. That's number one. And then anything extra, we have to, you know,
Exactly.
motion a separate one for.
Perfect. I agree.
So, but before that, Romy had a request because we already talked about that. So what's the number in your mind?
7,000.
I think, for the boot camp, I think if we request 5,000, we'll
Okay.
probably land where we need to be.
Okay, so 5,000.
So I'm gonna put 5,000 under the wish list.
Under
For
seminars, yeah.
seminars.
Mhm.
okay.
Under,
So everybody in agreement?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. Is that 5,000 additional or 5,000?
No,
No,
Oh,
total.
Okay, so it's like
Total.
3,000, so 3,000.
then the next thing that we do constantly is business network socials.
We have 3,000.
We have 3,000. Is that enough?
Okay.
Yeah.
We do per quarter, I think there was a method to that madness, to
Yeah, this leaves us some
Yeah,
around
750 per
one,
quarter,
around
yeah.
Yeah.
I say.
We can do around 1 to 2 a quarter that we sponsor, and then the chamber holds other ones in between.
Is that price accurate for the Chamber Expo, the 2020?
Yeah, that's a great Miami.
Yeah, that is,
Greater
yeah,
Miami.
sorry, yeah.
Greater-
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, that's a greater
Just
Miami
found out.
Chamber of Commerce. Right, that,
It sounds pretty exact, so it looks
It
like
is.
that's. the-
It is, it's just, that's, it's that, he's right, that it's for the,
no, wow,
it's just that
because we
it's labeled
disclosed it
wrong, yeah.
Right. okay.
Yeah, that's for the Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce membership. And that's their yearly membership, it's like, it's exactly that, the 2,000 and,
So if it's at the town membership, why is it in our budget?
it just ended up being that way.
Okay.
I'm not too sure, when I came into the EDC, even before I was the old
That
chairman,
might
it
change
was like
too.
that.
That might,
They
that
might
might,
adjust.
that might change.
You guys want.
That might
like,
change
this
there.
is where.
Yeah, just like the local Intel, yeah, what, because the local chamber, the local chamber is not in our budget, but the town pays for it.
Right,
True.
remember, the business expo is paid by, the town pays, it used to be in our budget, now they pay.
Yeah,
So
Under
the
vote.
idea that you guys wanna just, I wanna be very clear, you guys wanna cancel that, like. You don't want that to come from your committee, but you guys wanna continue the program. I'm just asking because this,
Which one?
the.
Yeah, my-
the
Greater
Greater
Miami.
Miami
Of course,
Expo.
have them pay, have the town pay.
But does that mean you guys wanna keep those 2,000? I guess that's the question. You guys wanna keep the 2,000, but you don't wanna pay.
Or it could be part of the reallocation that we're.
Right.
It could be partially a reallocation. and
Reallocation,
what we're trying to do.
But what I'm saying is you don't want EDC to be, like, you guys still wanna essentially keep the 2020, but you don't want, but you don't wanna have to pay.
Right.
But
You
not,
guys don't-
Membership, but
Yeah,
not,
because it's-
not part of our budget.
But what I'm
We don't
saying
do
is you
anything with that, it's the town is the one that wants to be members, the.
So exactly,
Right.
from EDC standards, you guys don't care whether we keep it or not. That's, I wanna
Or, yeah.
make sure
Okay,
that
I think there's two things, so I think the question is. We don't want the 2020 coming out of our budget, but we still want to retain the $2,020 for something else, that's what she's
That's what
asking.
I want.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wouldn't be in that line item any
Well,
longer.
But, and then I guess the other question is, do you guys care if we keep Greater Miami or not? Is it any?
I think it's a good thing.
I mean, I think
I
it's
know
a good
Ruby
thing.
takes it.
I think it's a good thing for the town. I actually didn't even realize that the town of Miami Lakes had a Greater Miami Chamber of Commerce membership. Who uses that is my question.
I know Rudy does a lot.
But
He
you,
goes to all the
but you
things.
go on behalf of the town or you go on behalf of yourself?
No, he goes, yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Does the town get any business from there? Or what is the town?
They get a lot of,
I know that they've promoted our events before.
I'm
they
sorry,
get lobby.
I know they've listed our events before.
they visit our events.
They've listed,
Listed,
yeah.
okay.
I don't know, personally, it doesn't bother me. That's
And
why
lobby,
I'm fine with it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
that's
would
you
say
guys, that's
they
fine.
do.
If you
But
think we
when
Yeah.
you,
should- we can
but
open up
Rudy,
the funds.
you go on behalf of the economic
I
development,
work-
or do you go
My
on
friend,
the,
don't you see me always my bid and everything? Of course, I'm
no,
very happy
on the
of
blasting committee and all of that?
the whole town.
So
Of
you
course.
represent the town,
The town. That's
any
correct.
committee in the town.
How
That's
does that
absolutely.
work? Like, if more people found out that we had that membership, could more people go?
Could be,
Or,
yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Is it?
Or town.
Okay,
no,
so it's a
no,
mayor,
Child,
doing the
no,
town.
no,
That membership, there's specific seats that you
Yeah.
get for these events, and then anything extra, you have to expend.
You have to
Right.
expense, right.
Yes, like any chamber, you get a certain amount of.
You're a member,
seats or,
you're a member of a chamber, and then you pay last
You
year.
know, like you may pay for a table, you may pay for 2 seats.
Correct.
Whatever it is.
Of course,
I guess that's what I'm trying to
I don't
understand, is
know.
our membership, what does it include?
yes.
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
would
enough
have to look
people
into
know
that.
about that or have
Okay,
taken
so-
advantage of that.
I propose this. if we have to keep that budget, we should know what that $2,000
Oh,
do for us and the town. And
Sure,
so we can, because
sure.
if we can do more and participate more, but we need to know
Absolutely.
what is it that it entitle us to,
Absolutely.
rather than paying $2,000 and we get nothing out of it.
Yeah, so
Correct.
whoever we pay that to, if they can explain to us what we're paying.
So
Sure.
just for the sake of, because I need to submit this on your behalf, right? Like I don't have time to come back to you, I will, but I don't have
Yeah.
time to give you that explanation if you just decide. So do I keep it?
We
As
can
part of
just
your budget?
Google it, I'm sure their membership thing is online,
There is
what their
one.
membership includes.
Okay.
For now, it's
But I
it's
think-
always been there.
There's more details to how
Does
the
any-
county.
Right,
does
right.
it.
Of course.
Does anybody have a
Yeah.
problem keeping that there?
I don't have a problem keeping it there, but
Just
I-
feel
but
it's
we need to be able to
something
use it.
provide.
We need to be able to use it as the committee members or whatever, if we are gonna rock.
As always,
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just wanna give
So-
you direction that if it's something that the committee doesn't even have like tangible benefits from, then you guys don't care for it to be charged out of your. line.
Correct. If the committee cannot partake in the membership of the town with the greater chamber of, the Miami Greater Chamber of Commerce,
Then you
then,
don't wanna do.
we don't wanna be responsible for carrying that
That makes
membership out of
sense.
our budget.
And it's also for consistency's sake too.
Yeah.
Like the town doesn't pay, like what Rudy was saying, for the local chamber, like they are part of the Miami Lakes
They are
Chamber.
part, but they pay
But that doesn't come
separate.
from us, the town
It
pays for
comes
that.
from the town.
Okay.
So it is inconsistent that we pay for this chamber.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, but to Al's point, if we could utilize that membership,
But we could also
If it-
utilize the Miami Lakes Chamber one, if we need.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean.
okay.
And I guess technically we do, that's why we always, that's why we always have the EDC
Yeah,
tabletop with me, we set it up there for that, yeah.
And everything else with
So
it.
do we wanna keep it in our budget if we can use it, or we want it to get out? I'm honestly indifferent.
No, that's why I'm also at a point where I don't think it matters too much, but in terms of if we're trying to increase our budget, it would probably be beneficial
To
to
take
take
that
it
out.
off, I'm assuming, right? And say like, oh, this should be in the town in the first place.
Yeah,
And then we could move this 2020, let's say to, I could go to the seminars and
Yeah.
boom, they're at 4,000, now Romeo only needs 1,000.
right.
You get what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I was thinking.
If I may ask a
I
question.
just got like.
I went to the Greater Chamber website and the first thing they have there are like the membership fees and. What are we under? Because I only see general, which is the lowest one at 820, which.
It's not,
Yeah, let's-
yeah,
Because it's a town.
It's a town.
It'll be different.
Oh, I see.
it's not, I don't think it's a Google.
Okay, so this one, because I know that we're short in time, so,
We're moving from the direction from what I'm listening from the committee.
yes?
All in
Yeah.
favor? To remove the 2,000?
Yes.
Yeah, we need a motion.
Yeah, so,
Motion to remove to reallocate the $2,020 to the seminars.
cool, so do we have a second?
Second.
Cool, all in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Look at that.
And then we have the motion to increase.
I motion to request $100,000
No, gee.
100,000, thank you.
He can't be-
for marketing campaign for the town of Miami Lakes to actually do a plan of advertising Miami Lakes to bring people to here.
How much?
$100,000.
It's 100,000 is what you're going with?
$100,000. They're gonna say yes or
They're
no,
gonna
or
laugh.
they.
They're gonna laugh.
You gotta
If you
see-
say it's
But I
absolutely
mean-
unfeasible.
But-
I think,
I mean, I
I
think
think.
it's not-
But we have to be serious.
It's actually-
No, it's a good idea.
That's a reasonable.
It's a
amount.
reasonable
I mean,
idea,
Actually,
but-
advertising to bring people to town, you need to have a serious budget, you know?
$10,000 then do.
No, I wasn't doing anything, no. I mean, I myself, for my office, I'm
Yeah.
spending $100,000 this coming year on marketing.
So I know if we wanted to kind of make an impact, that's what at least we need. Because it has to create a actual plan. If it is, we're only gonna do wasting that money.
I agree. No, that's actually a good point.
We're going to waste the money because it's just.
Matthew, you're the face. You're gonna go up there and.
Yeah, I'm saying-
Like, yeah,
I'm gonna go with
Tomorrow.
I